Yo, what's poppin', everybody? We're back. CD's Nuts, episode 3. We are joined today by two friends. I'm sure the third friend will join at some point, but he's not starting with us because he's a coward.
Just no follow up to that.
No follow up
Yeah.
whatsoever.
No follow-up. Yeah.
No, everyone in the audience, all of our audience members can definitely surmise what happened to him based on my tone. That's all.
I don't think they would know, but
No, they're smart enough. They got super intelligence. They've got the alien AI implanted in their brains. Like they're ready
those damn alien bastards are real.
I mean, they are,
yeah.
but we know next to nothing about any of them, or how many species. You know, whatever. How are y'all guys doing?
It's been a little chaotic for me to say the least. Just had a bunch of assignments thrown on me.
A
But
bunch
other
of
than
what
that,
thrown on you?
bunch of assignments.
Oh, assignments. Yeah, that's welcome to college.
Mhm.
It's still. I miss college though.
I mean, you
Like-
say that when you're
like
out,
that.
not when you're in.
No, not when you're in, of course. But I actually
Yeah.
did. I actually did really like my classes. I really liked psychology a lot. But you know, it is what it is. So, we've got a juicy episode for you guys today. I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but there's this franchise that's been going around. I don't know if they've covered it on the news or anything, but it's called Pokémon. I don't know if you've heard of that before, but apparently
I'm
it's
kidding
a,
around. They do.
it's a big deal to some people. Really, it's just we're all Pokemon players here, and you know we got into the games, so we're just gonna share how we got into the games, our journeys, significant Pokemon, etc., etc. Just gonna kind of wing right into that.
So who's willing to start? I don't know how we're planning to do this, but
Well, I figured we were just going to have a discussion, just like kind of rotate as it plays off of conversation.
Okay.
alright.
So, I guess I'll just start. So, I did not actually play Red, Blue, Yellow. Although, it is the game that I probably should have played first, considering how old I am, etc., etc. Well, I didn't play that. I had a Game Boy Color, and I never got Red, Blue, Yellow. Instead, I started on Pokemon Silver. And me being the dumb kid that I was, I chose Typhlosion as my starter. That's not the part that's dumb. The part that's dumb is the bitch in that game who trades you a Haunter for something. I don't remember what it was. But the Haunter is holding an Everstone. Or something.
That's actually a Gen 4 thing.
Oh, that's the
because
Gen
I
4
don't-
thing?
Yeah.
No, maybe it was a Ghastly that I got traded and I evolved it into a Haunter, and I did not know how. I know I had a fucking Haunter, and I got that bitch to level 70 something. I was fishing off the docks of whatever city Jasmine's in, and I was just fishing up level 40 Tentacruel, Lantern, and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna get this thing to evolve, and it was like level 75 by. I think it was level 80 by the time I figured out I needed to trade it to evolve it.
If those level 4 wild mons are like the highest you could get around Johto, that just says just how bad the level scaling is in that shit.
The level scaling in Johto actually makes no sense. How do you have it to where one gym leader, I think it's Jasmine, and then the gym after that, the Ice type gym. Literally, the Ice type gym is lower level than Jasmine's gym.
Well, actually, you're able to choose in between the gyms, like which one you want to do first.
But you typically go and fight Chuck first.
Yeah, I mean, typically, but...
But so it's like, you go and fight Chuck, you have to sail the fuck back, so you're in Jasmine's fucking city. Who's gonna skip that city, go to the ice place, and then come back to fight Jasmine? Like, who does that?
like trying to grind in Kanto just gets worse in the post game where like the wild mons just aren't up to par, you know?
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Yeah, the only way you can farm in that game is if you find Blissey and Chansey. But guess what? They don't fucking spawn hardly at all.
I mean, you can use the X transceiver thing, I think it's called, where you call the other trainers to get rematches from them.
Pokemon?
But
Oh, okay. I didn't
I
know if
don't
that was
remember.
a thing in the first game. I know that was a.
Yeah, I know it's
no,
in
it was
Heart Gold and
probably
Soul Silver, but
yeah, it was just Heart Gold Soul Silver.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so you can do the same thing in silver because I know you had a phone in silver, and I think it was like it held up to 10 people. You could call.
weren't you also like able to level your mons at like the daycare?
Yes, yes.
yeah, it's
Always
not the
the
most efficient
daycare.
though.
The only problem is that takes a while. It still takes a
Yeah,
Mhm.
while. And then they come out the daycare not liking you.
Wait, what? Wait, huh? Is that seriously a thing?
Yeah, that's the thing. If you so let's say you had max happiness on a Pokemon and you put it in the daycare, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure if you take it out of the daycare in those early gens, it comes out with a clean slate.
hmm.
Yeah, because I remember I had that happen because I put one in there to do breeding stuff, and then I took it out of the daycare at some point, and I went to the whatever lady in whatever game, and it was just like, oh, this Pokemon doesn't feel anything about you, or whatever she says. And I'm just like, but I trained you to level 50. How the fuck? Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was a Garchomp. I was trying to breed Outrage on it. Or maybe it was the Salamence. I was trying to breed Outrage onto something.
God, egg moves are just weird. God, after Blade Gen 2 on introducing them in the first place.
Yeah. But, so I started with Pokemon Silver. And the reason that Typhlosion became one of my favorite, well, my favorite Pokemon of all time is simply because, as a dumb, stupid kid, I had a level 100 ish Typhlosion that I fought Red with. I didn't know anything about Red. I just saw this random dude in this cave by himself where these level 50 Donphan are spawning. And I was just like, oh, I'm gonna fight you. And then he pulled up with level 85s and shit, and I was panicking. But then Typhlosion pulled through for me and beat his entire team. And yes, it included the Blastoise with Hydro Pump or whatever other moves it had, because I was too stupid to understand type advantage and shit.
I mean, this was also the gen where Typhlosion had like a special Thunder Punch, so
Yeah,
like you could very well just solo Johto with Typhlosion. In fact,
yeah.
there's like even a whole parody on called Pokemon Golden that I remember, where the whole premise is just basically that.
Oh, that's fair. Unfortunately, my Typhlosion had Flamethrower, Dig. I think it still had Quick Attack. Um, I don't remember what the fuck the last move was, but it wasn't beating a Blastoise.
Hmm.
I'll tell you that much right now. I was a very dumb kid. But yeah. Then I skipped Hoenn. I still have to this day not played through a Hoenn game, which
Ooh.
sounds like blasphemy. I never had a
Wait,
Game Boy
not
SP.
even Auras, especially considering you've told me a lot that you were really active and competitive around the Auras
Yeah,
days.
that's the weird thing. I started doing like a lot of competitive Pokemon playing when Auras was the present game, and I never played through a Hoenn game. It's really, really odd because I skipped a generation, then I come back in DPP, which becomes my favorite game in the franchise, Platinum specifically.
Hmm. Fair enough, fair enough.
Although, strangely, I don't consider it the best game in the series. The best game I consider is Black and White 2. Um,
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
but yeah, so I played through that game, and I remember I had one of those AR cheat card things that you put your game in.
The actual replay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Action Replay, that's what it's called. And I tried to cheese the Battle Tower with it. I didn't know what sheer cold actually did, and I think this probably broke my game. But sheer cold is an OHKO on your Pokemon, and me being the stupid kid that I was, I thought Torterra had an advantage against Articuno, and it used sheer cold on me, and I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna live this move because I can action replay cheat it. So what happened was the HP went from whatever it was down to 0, and then I hit the buttons and it looped all the way back to 999 and went all the way down back to 0 again.
That's that's some like acid rain glitch type shit. You know that one where the cast form just continually keeps transforming with every weather active.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, I was a stupid kid, but I had a lot of fun with like playing through it with Torterra, and then like I eventually didn't use the action replay when I did it with Platinum, and I like enjoyed it a lot more that time, strangely enough. But that then brought me to Gen 5 where I met Crobat for the real first time. I had a Crobat in DPP, but the real Crobat was in Gen 5 where I had a friend on the bus that I would play Pokemon with. And I had a Flying Gym Acrobatics Crobat that fucked his shit up every day of the week. He just could not deal with that fucking Crobat. And I became to love Crobat enough to where when I did play competitive and I started doing draft leagues, the Carolina Crobats became my team name. And is still to this day my team name. Then obviously jump into Gen 6. I just now to this year, so like what, 10 years late now? Is it? When did XY come out?
About 10 years.
Yeah, I'm 10 years late to the party, but I'm playing through X right now. I actually like it a lot. It seems very nice. It's like almost chill to play through the game.
Yeah, I guess.
So I actually am playing through that now. I like it a lot. But Gen 6 is when I got into competitive, and I was a monster when I finally learned how to play competitive, like, properly. Although
What
I
do you
did
got
get...
you started on it in the first place? How did you even like learn if it's you
So,
know the whole smuggling thing and all that?
so that was my friend Spencer. I didn't know anything about Pokemon Showdown, it existing, none of that. But he showed it to me, and I started to play it, and I got into it. Like, I would... Probably for the next 4 or 5 years, I was playing daily, and like just building teams. And I remember, I'm pretty sure it was Gen 6. I was extremely excited because I mainly played UU. I didn't do OU as much. I did UU. I started my YouTube channel with Pokemon Showdown 7 years ago, where I did the UU Fighting Champions, because back in Gen 6, there were a lot of fighting types in the UU tier. And so I was like going through each and every one of them, making teams around them and stuff, and it was fun. And eventually I got good enough at UU to where I got Rex for a suspect test on Hydreigon, which I was the first argument in the forum, the Smogon forums, for why I think Hydreigon should not be banned. And my reasoning was legitimately because it always has a check and a counter on any given team. It's just you have to figure out what set it's running. Because Specs obviously doesn't have the speed that it wants to outspeed Mega Beedrill, Mega Pidgeot, Mega Swampert in the rain if it's adamant, because I think Scarf could still outspeed that. Then you, like, other speed tiers of things that were just naturally faster than Hydreigon, things that hit base 100, etc., etc. And you couldn't use a Specs Hydreigon to check a +1 Haxorus, obviously. And then I think Salamence got into the tier at one point in time. I don't remember if that got banned or not. I'm pretty sure it did. But yeah, so I made that argument for that. because it was able to beat Blissey with the taunt set. People started running Taunt Roost, Dark Pulse, and I think it was a choice between Draco and Superpower. But I got Rex with a team, and I'm pretty sure that's when I like peaked, at least for a while. I probably peaked again in this generation, Gen 9, just because
I
like
mean, it would be like something if we could like find those old forum posts on that. Would
oh
be
my
quite a nice
god,
piece of history.
that would be a really cool piece of history. Because unfortunately, all the video footage that I did 7 years ago was sadly deleted because of Kappa. I was terrified of facing repercussions from the law.
Uh,
Oh, so did you like delete them when they announced all that stuff
Seven
at the time that was
hundred
going around?
772 videos gone,
Jesus.
which
dang.
included a Blaze Black 2 playthrough, Nuzlocke, I mean. Um, and that was how I met Dusclops and how I fell in love with Dumplings the Dusclops. It didn't fucking die! It could not be killed! But yeah, there's more to it. I don't want to take up all of the talking points. So, how did your journey start?
Well, that's a bit of a weird one for me because I got into Pokemon really late, like around the time that Gen 7 was starting up, and I didn't even get into it through a main series game, mind you. I got
Wait,
into Pokemon because of the TCG of all things.
really? I
Yeah,
thought you
it
just
was.
came in at Pokemon Sun and Moon and you just kind of adapted.
Oh, that came around after I like had my little spur with the TCG. But the way that I discovered it through TCG was it was like at some friend I knew back then at one of his parties where he got like card packs as a gift, and from there I kind of had a group at school that collected them, and I kind of wanted in on it, and yeah, it just unfolded from there.
I
I
see.
eventually started to like try to expand my own collection by buying packs myself as well, and I honestly really don't know if there are any specific ones that I really associate with it, um, like when I first got into it. But yeah, it's not really what you'd expect.
No, I would have never expected that you started from TCG because normally I feel like TCG is like you get into Pokemon from the show, which I guess I technically did get into it from the show because I remember that bitch played on WTWV TV 20 for me, and I would watch Pokemon, as a little kid, and it was fun. It was fun. I still think the Kanto Pokemon is the best written that it was ever.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, okay. Now our late members finally joined us. Shun the. I don't know.
Hey,
Shun
listen,
him.
I was quiet for the past 10
Like
minutes. I
like
was here
10 minutes.
for all
Yeah.
of Flam's
Was he
conversation. I just
Mike?
wanted to insert myself smoothly, but I guess that's out the window.
Well, to be fair, in my defense, being an asshole, my computer screen is blank right now because I have a 2 minute timer on my screen from if I'm not touching buttons or moving the mouse around, it just the screen goes to sleep. And I did not
God.
hear the Discord blip of you being in
Damn.
call.
So,
I wish
what
there would have been
generation?
a screensaver on that blank screen.
So, wait, so, sequel, what generation did you start playing?
Two.
It's
I
like
Oh,
in,
you
started
missed out on
with
quite a bit.
yeah. I
yeah,
started. I started on Pokemon Silver.
I don't feel so old now. I heard Flam say he started in X and Y, and I was like, oh god, I'm
Oh
old.
no, it was Sun and Moon actually. Yeah.
Yeah, he came. I think you came around the very tail end of Auras. Like this was probably months before Sun and Moon came out.
Um. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know much about that time because what? No, I really just seem to have forgotten about most of that. Besides,
The first time I got into Pokemon, I was being babysat, and my nanny was playing Black and White, like the originals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But my friend, he had been playing Pokemon and gotten out of it, so I inherited all of his copies. And so I technically started out playing Fire Red, Leaf Green first, and then Sapphire, Ruby, Emerald, and then I got every game since then.
I think I've heard someone on TikTok say the proper order to play the games in fire red, leaf green. Jesus, fuck, I can't speak today. Uh,
yours just do be like that.
yeah, you play leaf green, fire red, and then you skip Gen 2 completely. It's non existent, and you play the Hoenn games, any one of the three, and then you play Platinum. Then you play Black and White 2, because those are some of the best in the series. And then you skip Gen 6, you skip Gen 7, and you play
And you skip
Sword and
Gen 8
Shield.
and 9. You skip the whole past century.
No, then they said you go back and play Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Hmm.
No, I wouldn't ask anyone to torture themselves with that.
Those games
Well,
aren't bad.
no, Omega
I
Ruby.
never said they were bad. I just said that they took out a lot of the aspect that the originals did.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah. But
So I'll give a quick uh uh case on what they took out. So in the second gym that you go against, I believe it's Dewford Town. There's a little person on the side in Generation 3, and they have a little phrase that you can customize and say pretty
yeah, I
much whatever you
remember that.
want. They give you a list, right?
Mm-hmm.
That, and so you could say some pretty freaking silly things on it. Well, in the remakes, they took a lot of those out. If not a lot, if not all.
It's almost like they
And you can
didn't
only do,
expect people to say weird and bad things.
yeah.
Oh, let's
Yeah.
not forget the omission of the battle frontier, and they basically just put down a troll message saying it was under construction.
Wait, is
Yeah.
that really not in the
Yeah.
remakes?
Yeah.
No.
What?
Yeah. It was said it was under construction. That was what they had. And they just slapped the battle mansion on it. It was pure laziness.
Oh my god. And the battle mansion is a thing in X and Y, and it doesn't do jack shit.
Yeah, yeah.
What? I feel like
I,
I've
w- I
been
will
robbed.
give I'll give I'll
That's how
give
a lot of
some
people felt at the
props.
time, to
X and
say the
Y
least.
XMY really did peak though when it comes to the internet era, because it's never been better than X and Y, because it was a lot more organized and a lot more ease of access. Now it's just a complicated mess.
Well, you also
Eh,
have to
I
pay
don't know about that.
money if you want to do things online.
That's exactly the point I'm making.
Yeah. And so it's not more complicated, it's just more expensive.
I feel like Black and White online was good too. Like,
I agree.
Yeah, it lasted 6 months, but sure. I'm not
but
joking.
also because
It
it had like
lasted
multiple
six
features
months.
as well. Like you had the I think I forget what it's called, but you had like the dream thing where you could get the hidden
Oh yeah, the
Dream
abilities.
dream
Radar,
yard.
yeah.
Yeah, Dream Yard.
So that was the first ever DLC for Pokemon, by the way. That was the first ever DLC. It's not Gen 7 that started the DLCs. It's Gen 5 but the original reason why they started the DLC in Gen 5 was to have the variant forms and to introduce all the old legendaries from past save files.
And a lot of extra hidden abilities.
Also for cash.
Yeah.
Well, everything they do is fucking for cash. Like, Jesus. They gave us Pokemon Stadium once. And Gale of Darkness one time. They have never re-released it, and I don't think they have any intentions of doing so.
No, even though they're the most profited media franchise ever.
Yes.
By $20 billion.
Yes, an extremely sizable amount. I mean, I know there was another good one. Don't remember the name of it, but it's like you had your own dojo or something, and...
Pokemon Coliseum?
No, not Coliseum.
Or not Conquest.
Conquest, yeah, that's the one. And that was like an interesting take on the Pokemon games, and I know a lot of people like that one, but that's the only one that exists.
On that topic, I think the first Pokemon game I did play was Pokemon Rangers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Pokemon Rangers is interesting. I haven't ever played one. Or Mystery Dungeon, any of those types.
Yeah. Mystery Dungeon was fun. The remakes did a great job.
Kat, you were making my butt fall asleep, and I don't like that feeling.
I think that's a you problem.
The little thing has been on his lap for like, what, 3 hours?
4.
Or something like that.
4 by now.
Mm-hmm.
But she's so warm. She's a little toaster kitty.
She's in training to become the Typhlosion that Seeker had all those years ago.
Oh man, my Typhlosion's lost a lot of weight and size and fire.
No, it's just the 3D model.
Oh, okay, I see. It's just... Oh no.
I think so what is we are talking about like Pokemon journeys, right? So on that topic, to kind of keep in it, but also to stray off nearby it, what was everyone's favorite Pokemon, and when did they realize it was going to be their favorite Pokemon?
Well, I kind of already said mine. It's when Typhlosion destroyed Red's team back when I was a little kid who didn't know any better.
I mean, I've had a bunch of favorite Pokemon, but I guess my first one is probably also Typhlosion.
Really?
Yeah, because my first game was Heart Gold, so...
Oh.
Yeah. And also, Typhlosion's sprite looks sick.
It does. God, I miss having the pixel sprites. I really fucking do.
That little hopping back and forth that Typhlosion does in his animation in Heart Gold Soul Silver still is imprinted in my mind.
It's such a dope Pokemon that they've done nothing for whatsoever for years.
Well, other than giving the flames back in Gen 9 and giving him his 7-star terror raid, but that's it.
Yeah, oh boy, I can't wait to have my good Typhlosion with no Scorching Sands, no Earth Power, no moves that actually make it substantial other than fire moves. Literally, you only use Eruption, and once you can't use that, you spam Flamethrower and Fire Blast until you die.
I thought, why don't we just skip those steps? Because let's be honest, that's all it's used for.
That is all it's used for.
Eruption till death.
Literally, that's quite literally all it can do. Competitively, it's very sad. Although I did try to use a really cheeky power-up punch Assault Vest one at one point, and I actually semi-swept someone's team with it.
I think my favorite Pokemon when I started was actually Xatu.
This man threw out the most forgettable Pokemon in the universe. Fucking Xatu.
It's a very
weird... It went from So my favorite was Zatu, because the uh, I liked having the bird aspect. I liked its design.
Yeah.
Uh, it stayed that way until Generation 5 when Escavalier came out. And then that was my favorite until Basque Legion came out because I like the idea of ancient forms of current Pokemon. I love that idea.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it sits right now.
Okay. I mean,
I've
I love
never
Basque
really
Legion.
I've never really been able to really pin down a singular favorite Pokemon, but I have a few ones that come close. Like back back in my TCG days, one of my favorites actually was Chinchino for whatever reason. So much so that I ended up running it on my first ever time in White, which I did after messing around with Sun and Moon, and I haven't even gotten into the dumbass teams that I had on those save files back when I first started.
Mm.
You see, I was also someone who didn't really have the hang of type types and diversity and all that. So I had a team in Moon where I had three grass types:
Oh, three. Oh, oh,
Decidueye, Lurantis, and Lilica.
oh, no,
Am
no,
I
thank you.
am I doing enough damage to you? You need
Yes.
more?
Did you run at least a Sun team?
No. No, I didn't even know what that was back then. The other
Oh.
things I remember having on that team was an unevolved Pikachu because I didn't know where the Thunderstone was. A Sylveon for whatever reason. I somehow figured that one out. And the last party member I really can't remember, but it was probably Lunala that I slotted on because story.
Okay.
Mm.
Hey, I remember my first ever team, and it is the funniest thing ever because you gotta understand this is like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
the first one I had was Blaziken. Then I had Poochyena, Zigzagoon, uh, Tentacool, a Natu, and then another Zigzagoon
You had two Zigzagoons on your team?
for
Because
pickup.
pickup, and
Pick up.
also
Yeah.
Oh, that makes
Also
sense.
because HMs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's yeah. I always forget HMs are a thing.
There's a reason
yeah.
why Bidoof is a god other than Moody.
Oh my god. Yes, Bidoof was my savior in DPP. That bitch was on my team. Steelix also gets a lot of the HMs, and I remember when I played through DPP the first time, I had a
Um,
Steelix I named KO Baby because I didn't understand anything about stats at the time. So I was just like, yeah, in the show, Steelix is a fucking monster. You can't fight that thing. Because, just size makes the difference. So I was just like, yeah, and it beats everything up. And then I had Rock Climb, Strength. I think I had Cut on it. So completely walled by a ghost type. I don't remember what the fucking last move was, but it didn't matter. Uh,
Recently, one of my HM saviors has been Wooper of all things, just because it also gets Flash and Rock Smash.
why the
Don't
hell
lie,
does
you
it get
wanted to give them.
Flash?
How can
A lot of
Wooper
weird
flash?
Pokemon
That
get
thing is
flashed for some
flash.
reason.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I'm not gonna question it.
So the other team that I had in White, and this this team on White, I actually didn't fully complete the game with because I got stuck on the Elite Four with it. But it also continued the trend of me having multiple grass types with Superior as my starter and
Ooh.
Lilligant again.
Well, Lilligant is actually fine with Superior. You see, you just have to not use either of them the entire game.
I didn't even know what Quiver Dance was. I don't even know if I got to the point where it could learn it.
Dang.
But the other ones that I had were Chinchino, also because of my love for it from the TCG. An Audino, a Seismitoad, and well, I honestly don't know the last one. And the thing is, it also couldn't have been an HM slate because there really weren't that many HMs in or at least I remember you didn't really have to use them that often in black and white.
There are a
I
few.
eventually ended up resetting that save file and like tried to complete it with a proper team in which I took Saburot as my starter.
Uh, See, if I was gonna go and play through the game, I'd probably start with the Tepig because fire types are rarer. Um,
Hmm.
but then again, you would eventually get to a Darmanitan.
Yeah,
Or
and that's what I ran on the
Volcarona.
Saburot
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking of like all the water types that you can encounter in Black and White. Because Basculin is fine; it's not great.
Everything else is shit other than Jellicent,
And
Seismitoad,
Jellicent's like
and
kind of late when you would find it, unless you find Frillish somewhat early. But I don't remember when you find Frillish.
You probably
well,
get a
I don't
tentacle or
either.
something, but
Well, you can't get a
No, no,
Tentacruel.
this was Vanilla Gen 5 where you could only have the Univamons
Yeah,
during the main story.
right, yeah.
Stoutland. Stoutland would probably just be on my team.
But the other ones I had on the proper Samurai team was yeah, Darmanitan because fire type. I had Sigilif and an adamant Scrafty that just almost never died and like it annihilated the Elite Four and also gets the Side Dragon.
A fun fact:
I was astounded at how bulky it was.
I can tell you from firsthand experience how bulky Scrafty is. There was a Nuzlocke, a Soul Link Nuzlocke that I was doing with my friend, and I believe the pair was Scrafty and it was Scrafty and some really beefy ass Pokemon. Like it was a good ass fucking pair. And there was a
What game was that
Gengar.
in?
This was a fan game. I believe this was Zeta Omicron.
Never heard of that one. It must
That
be a
is a
really old
Drayon.
one.
That's so that was
Oh.
pre-insurgence from
Hmm.
Suzerain or whatever.
Like no wonder I wouldn't have heard from it.
Yeah, I actually think that if he would have made that game a little better or focused on it better, it would have been a better game. But there was a kid that had a Gengar in one of the gyms, and the Gengar I didn't know because we didn't look beforehand to see what moves anything would have because we were just going into it raw no rubber. And Gengar had Dazzling Gleam, and I'm just sitting here like,
Ah,
yeah, my Scrafty's just gonna clean this gym. It doesn't matter, and he was gonna use whatever his thing was for ghost types. The Gengar just whips out Dazzling Gleam out of nowhere, and I end with a fucking Gengar's head in my pocket.
I'll
Because
take your word
Scrafty
for
just,
it.
yeah, Scrafty is, if you didn't know, it is quad weak to Dazzling Gleam, meaning it takes 4 times the damage from that attack, and it's not like a weak attack, it's somewhat substantial. So, when it hit me with that, I was pretty sure that Pokemon was just dead. No, it survived, it had like 30 HP left at the end of its HP bar
Oh.
going down, but it still tanked it.
Hmm. I mean, Scruffy has like 115 across each defense stat, doesn't it?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
Something
115.
along those lines.
Yeah, it's built like a Rotom. It doesn't have a lot of HP,
Hmm.
but it has enough defense to where that doesn't matter.
The I don't know if I had other really bulky mons on that squad because a lot of it was just nuke everything and get out with stuff like Sigilif.
Sigilyph has average
What else
bulk.
was it that I had? I had Excadrill and also Livani that also assisted in ripping apart the Elite Four.
Okay, alright, so Leavanny and Sigilyph actually do have average bulk. Leavanny in particular Although its typing is complete dog duty,
Mhm.
it actually does have just enough bulk to tank hits.
And like bug type goes hard in mainline Unova. Just saying.
Does it?
Does it? Yeah. I mean, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, I'm mostly thinking that because both two of the Elite Four members are weak to bug. So
Oh, well, yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
In Gen 4, what? I'm blanking out.
Gen 5. This is Gen 5.
Gen 5,
Yeah, the Gen 5 bug Pokemon actually do put in work, is the argument here. But you can discount Volcarona because that's not a Pokemon you have by the Elite Four.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
a
Can you
Larvesta
get
egg
it?
that you could get, but there's no way in
Yeah.
hell you were raising that up.
No, there is in Black and White 2, they
There's
have the
the
same Elite
yeah.
4. You can, after you beat the 5th gym, you can go inside a cave to the ruins in Gen 5. It leads to the ruins.
Oh, let's talk about Vanilla
And
Black
it
and
will,
White.
oh,
Because
well,
I
well,
know you
yeah,
can get
it's
into
there in
Relic
Vanilla Black and
Castle.
White 2. You'll find a
Maybe,
level
may,
30 Volcarona.
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
remember
maybe in
that
Black
one
White
in the
too.
second
But
one.
I think in both games there's like an area where you can get a Larvesta egg off of someone.
Maybe you're right. I thought that was post game though that they gave you the egg. Maybe I'm just misremembering.
No, Volcarona is only post. No, wait, it's the desert. The what's the area called? Whatever the ruins that the
Relic Castle.
encounter with
Universal
Volcarona
Yeah.
as a static
Ruins.
encounter. I'm just brain rotting on the spot
I can
again.
tell.
Mm.
I guess I've rubbed off on you. You've got the old man brain now.
I'm too early to have this. Ah.
Don't worry, I was too early for it, and now you've gotten the gene for old man syndrome.
Reinfection. So sad.
Very sad.
We actually haven't heard from what what Gen U started out and all the stuff around that.
Well, I started in Gen 4, Gen 4 Heart Gold Soul Silver. So
Hmm.
but yeah, that was the first game I played. I was young, like 5, 6, around that. But yeah. So I played the hell out of those games, and I would just do it like do Johto, do Kanto, do the Elite Four, everything. I would just like start a new save file and redo it over, and I would do that a lot, basically. Uh, yeah,
Hmm.
I do remember how much features that those games had, though. Like they had so much. They had the Pokeathlon, like
Oh yeah, I
they
remember
had
the
so many little
Pokeathlon.
games. Yeah,
The only thing that I know about the Pokeathlon is that for some reason Sunkern is one of the best options there.
Oh my god, no. No.
Yeah.
I hate that Pokemon with a fucking passion.
So
Sunkern
why
is
don't
a
we get into that?
Sunkern.
No, you want me to get into why I hate Sunkern and fucking
Yeah.
Sunflora? Those are not Pokemon. I'm just going to tell you right now, those are not actually Pokemon. Anyone who tells you that they're Pokemon, they're a liar. They are a cheat, they are a hack. You see, Typhlosion is known as the Eruption Pokemon. Camerupt is known as the Volcano Pokemon, and Slugma and Magcargo are known as the Lava Pokemon. Now, I'm going to explain something to you. Earth Power is a move that is basically Earthquake, but using powers instead of just causing an earthquake. That's how it's described. Now, keep this in mind. The, the Volcano Pokemon. Oh, wait, I said it backwards. The Eruption Pokemon's Camerupt, the Volcano Pokemon is Typhlosion. Alright, keep this in mind. The Eruption Pokemon Camerupt gets the move Earth Power. The Lava Pokemon, Slugma Magcargo, get the move Earth Power. Typhlosion, the Volcano Pokemon, which what do volcanoes do, everyone?
stay dormant.
If I was sitting next to you, you
Well,
would
shit.
have the fastest backhand right now. I just want you to know that. No, an active
I'm
volcano.
sorry that I'm correct.
If it's
Because those are
dormant,
those are actual volcanoes. You can at me.
look, what do volcanoes do? They both have lava and they erupt. Typhlosion does not get earth power. What does get earth power, you ask? Fucking Sunkern and Sunflora. Not only are they ugly fucking Pokemon, look at their eyes. There's no soul in them. And Sunflora doesn't even
You don't
fucking
have
have
any
eyes.
soul
It
in
ripped off
yourself,
Brock
dude.
and said, I'm a Pokemon Brock now, and I grew flowers and plant stuff. So,
You don't have any soul yourself, dude. Your argument's flawed.
my argument is flawless. Fuck off. I hate Sunflora with a passion. It's ugly. Its stats are bad. You can fuck off if you
Your
think
stats
Sunflora.
are bad.
I don't have stats. I'm not a Pokemon. I will just say it like this. Sunflora has no physical defense. Not a great HP stat to tank anything. So the only thing it can do is maybe tank a special hit, and that's it. And it's not even that strong. It's slow as dirt in molasses, meaning you're not moving nowhere. Even in the sunlight you get outsped by things because you're so goddamn slow. It's not a Pokemon. I hate it. I hate its existence.
Pokemon.
It's ugly. Fuck you. Fuck you right now. Go away. I cannot stand Sunflora. Literally, when I was watching through the show, there was a Sunflora contest in the Johto region. I had to skip that episode. I was just livid. The whole episode, I was just livid about there being Sunflora all over the goddamn place.
I'm so
Alright,
glad
so-
that's something they changed, like in the recent
I'm
generations.
so glad they did that.
Like,
They added so many Sunflora.
because
Um,
old Pokemon like Sunflora, they used to just make bad Pokemon, but now every Pokemon in the newer games is
bad.
just good.
I would like
Well-
to submit my certificate to Squawkabilly, being a.
Squawkabilly's good.
I know it's
Squawkabilly's
actually.
not-
I know it's actually really fucking good.
Yeah, like,
I'm trying to think of a bad Pokemon from Gen 9.
there really isn't any. Like, they're all at least
Mastiff.
decent.
Yeah,
Mastiff is
Mastiff.
not bad. He's not that
Yeah,
bad.
Mabostiff.
He's pretty bad.
Mabostiff
Mabostiff's not-
isn't bad. It just requires. It requires a situation thing, because doesn't it have Stakeout as an ability?
Yeah, it has
That's true.
Stakeout, but it's like, it's definitely usable.
This thing has 20 attack.
It says 120 attack. No, that thing hits like a truck.
No. 20 attack.
He's talking about the Prevo.
Oh, the Prevo that no one uses?
Yeah, so
Mm.
one of your trash Pokemon, there's your trash Pokemon.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
we don't consider those. We consider the big daddy Pokemon and the big mama Pokemon because those are the big ones.
If that's
Those are the ones
case, then
that
I'd
matter,
recognize
like,
you,
yeah.
but I don't, so...
No, no one talks about Charmeleon. They talk about Charizard. And Charizard is still ass, but...
Yeah, like Mastiff
Hey,
has
Spy
Guard
Dogs.
Dog too. Like,
Okay,
Bro,
no,
I
he's
still
right.
use
He
it.
got one. However, comma, there was a Spidops used in our previous draft league that kind of popped off, and I believe
Yeah.
Odin was its possessor.
Spidops can cook. Like, the Pokemon's not that
Spidops.
bad.
Yeah, it's one of the only web setters right now, so at least it has something. Like, I think there might be more now that the DLC has dropped, but
Yeah, there's a lot more, but
yeah, it used to be only it and Masquerain, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
Which Masquerain may actually kind of upsets me as a Pokemon, because it's like,
It offends you.
it doesn't affect. Look, it's like You can't make a Pokemon have 4 move slot syndrome more than Masquerain, I feel like. Because it's like Masquerain wants to be defensive to set up webs because it has Roost, unlike a lot of other web setters, so it can recover its
And
HP.
also Intimidate.
Yeah, and also Intimidate, which is a great ability. And then it has, like, not a good defense stat. It's only base 60, which is kind of ass. So you have to invest in that if you're going to make it defensive. And then it's got Quiver Dance. You can't run Quiver Dance and Webs on the same set. It doesn't usually work, especially if you're going to run Roost, Quiver Dance, and Webs. Because then you have one attack, and it's like, oh, but I want to run Air Slash, I want to run Hurricane, I want to run Hydro Pump, I want to run Bug Buzz. I want to run all of my moves, but I have 4 move slots. The only Pokemon I can compare 4 move slot syndrome to harder than Masquerain is probably Infernape. Because Infernape gets literally every move it could ever want, but it never knows which moves it needs to run outside of its stab.
I can name one that has a much worse syndrome.
Okay, let's hear it.
Mew.
Not really.
I don't really think that one counts, though.
That one counts. It's been there since Gen 1.
I mean, you're able to do, like, it has so many moves that you're able to, like, concentrate your strategy into the moves that you have very well.
Yeah, it's not like Swords Dance Infernape, where it's like, I want Stone Edge for X flying type Pokemon, Zapdos, for example. Or I need to have Earthquake for this Pokemon. But it's like, you can't exactly run it. Like, you need Earthquake for Chandelure. Otherwise, you're completely fucking walled by Chandelure. You can run Stone Edge and hit both the Flying type and Chandelure. But if you don't have Earthquake, now you're not hitting that Poison type that you need to hit. So it's like, it was always like a toss-up. Or that Electric type Pokemon that you'd rather not have to deal with, like a Raikou. Or the prehistoric Raikou. What's that thing called?
Raging Bolt?
It has a goofy name. I forget.
Yeah, I forget too. But I think it's
Reggie
Drago,
Reggie Lecky.
No.
Reggie Steel, Reggie Ice.
No, the prehistoric Raikou.
Yeah, I said it already. Raging Bolt.
Reggie Giraffe.
Oh, Raging Bolt. I thought you said Reggie Bolt, and I was just like, he's trolling.
Yeah,
me.
Raging Bolt.
Reggie Giraffe, I like that.
Yeah, accurate. Anyway, well, that about covers our journeys into Pokemon, but there is another thing that will be covered next episode, which will also be Pokemon related. And that'll be Flamini's cookie there.
Yum. That's all I'll say.
Are we going to talk about a Smash or Pass? And then
Do we want to?
We might get to that someday, but not now.
We're 50 minutes in. I'm pretty sure that since this is such an early time in our podcast history, no one's listening at this point. But if they are,
that could work. It's like it would take like just enough time for a podcast. Though.
It really would. You know what? Fuck it. We'll do it. We'll do Flam's episode, and then we'll do that, and then I need to go and do things. Unless y'all also need to do things before then. But anyway.
This totally backfired. I did not take that as a serious recommendation.
Bro, Smash or Pass everything. Rocks, foods, anything you can name. Houses, Smash or Pass them. Blocks of wood, Smash or Pass them. Always.
You're probably gonna have to screen share to us what we're gonna be looking at the Smash or Pass.
We're also gonna have to have the YouTube video and just paste every Pokemon and just have an arrow right beside it.
Oh no. I can only imagine what our thumbnails would be like.
Well, that's a good point. I'm sure I'll figure that out. Or maybe one of you should figure it out since y'all are better with technology than I am.
Yeah, because you're pretty bad at it, I'm not gonna lie.
I really need to hit up the bathroom real quick before we get on.
Alright. Well, with that, I believe that's going to be the end of this episode, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And as always, CD's nuts next time, you peasants. Did I just call our fans peasants, unironically?
Yeah,
Yes, you did. Yeah.
it's funny.